All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about what Errol Spence Jr. had to say about a potential matchup between Gervonta Tank Davis and Terence Bud Crawford. Man, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound and the 147-pound division at the same time, where Errol Spence Jr., it's going to send some of y'all into a hissy fit. The #1 pound-for-pound fighter had something to say about the former #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Crawford, and the current top lightweight Gervonta Tank Davis. Before I get into it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, like all of you little raggedy dudes out there making videos about me on your channel, because I know in order to do it as much as y'all do it, you have got to be a subscriber and a supporter. So with that, thank you so very, very much for your support. Also, to anybody that supports and everybody that supports in the Super Chat and the Cash App, thank you so much for your support of the live streams. And to the people, the growing number of people, and it's happening more and more, thank you guys so much. It really is important to the channel. The support and the super thanks in in videos like this, where you can see a little heart and a $ in the corner. Thank you guys for your continued support. It is what makes the channel go. So let's talk about this little bit of a funny topic, because, you know, throughout my entire time watching boxing, people never really believe until it happens that a smaller guy can move up in weight and beat a bigger guy. Almost all the time you hear when one says, hey, I can move up and beat that guy, you almost always hear, okay, man, that guy's too small. And it makes sense why people would think that, right? Because you have this idea that, you know, for example, what we're talking about here, which is 135 pounds and 147 pounds, is a really, really big jump. And these guys are completely different sizes of people. In many cases, though, however, that's really not, that is not as true, or the difference is not as severe as you would think, because if you go back, you know, before 1980, let's say 1960, probably for all of these weight classes, definitely in 1960, there was only originally 8 weight classes. So when you leave the 135-pound division, there was no 140-pound division to go to. You went straight to 147 pounds. That's why you have guys like Henry Armstrong, Homicide Hank is what his name, we went by, who was a champion at 135, 147, and 160. Or excuse me, 126, 135, and 147, and fought for 160, right? But those are only 4 weight classes. Today, that would be 8 weight classes. So when Gervonta Davis was interviewed and said that he would like to fight, that he may end his career up at 147 pounds, and that he believed that he could beat Terence Crawford at 147 pounds, a lot of people just blew that off like that was nonsense. However, when Errol Spence Jr. was asked about it, Errol said, nah, he didn't think it was nonsense. He was like, look, if Gervonta Davis hits you cleanly, he can knock out anybody, man. He's got that type of power. And you hear that consistently about Gervonta Davis, that he really does have freakish power, has the ability to knock out guys much, much larger than him. So Errol Spence Jr. said, I would ride with Gervonta Davis in that. Now, does that necessarily mean that Errol really thinks that Gervonta can beat Terence Crawford? It may very well be that he's supporting his friend, supporting his stablemate, you know, PBC's stablemate, and saying, yeah, man, because, you know, Gervonta supports Errol Spence. Errol supports Gervonta Davis. Previously, when Gervonta Davis played about fighting Errol Spence Jr., Errol was real quick to tell him, man, I'll hurt you, right? But that's the type of conversation, the type of banter that is supposed to go on between fighters. Now, a serious look, though, at whether or not Gervonta Davis would be able to beat Terence Crawford. Well, if you look at the weight classes Terence Crawford was in, he was at 135 pounds for the most fights during his career. Then he was at 140 for a few fights, and then he went to 147, right? He had a fight with a guy named Yuriokas Gamboa at 135 pounds, where he was really outclassing Yuriokas Gamboa. But when Yuriokas Gamboa clipped him, hey, man, a dude went wobbly, wobbly, wah. You know what I mean? Like, got the stanky legs and all of that type of stuff. So there is a possibility that if Gervonta Davis fought Terence Crawford, if Gervonta Davis caught Terence Crawford, that really could be, problems for Terence Crawford. Now, I would, at this point in time, until I actually saw Gervonta Davis fight welterweights and bigger welterweights, I would lean towards like most of you guys and say, I would take Terence Crawford, and I would take Terence Crawford in that fight. However, I have to say that I kind of thought that about the very first time that I heard Oscar De La Hoya, who at the time was at 100, when I heard Floyd Mayweather Jr. say something about fighting Oscar De La Hoya, when Floyd Mayweather Jr. at the time was a 130 pounder. And at the time, Oscar De La Hoya was a 147 pounder, right? And everybody that was talking about was like, Oscar De La Hoya is too big for Floyd Mayweather Jr., even though Oscar De La Hoya himself had moved up from the same weight class that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was fighting at, right? I believe he's at 130, 135, 140, 147, 154, and got all the way up to getting a belt undeservedly, in my opinion, against Felix Sturm at 160. But before that, he had fought, or I don't know if that was before Felix Sturm or not. He had fought, though, Floyd Mayweather Jr., I do believe at 154 pounds, may have been a catch weight in there. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. handled Oscar De La Hoya very well, right? Now, Gervonta Davis, people are going to say, and I can already hear you say it, he's not as skilled. I think that's nonsense. Floyd Mayweather, people were not talking about how skilled Floyd Mayweather Jr. was at 130 pounds. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was knocking people out at 130 pounds. He was actually knocking out people at 135 pounds. Also, Gervonta Davis is somebody that is very, very, very skilled. He's not somebody that is just running in there looking for knockouts every single time, doesn't know how to move his feet. He's very, very athletic. He's got very, very fast hands. He's a good fighter. Only problem relative to Terence Crawford is that Terence Crawford is also very, very skilled, also very, very big. I mean, very strong, significantly taller, significantly bigger than Gervonta Davis is. However, and obviously, most people will favor him to win that fight, may favor him to win that fight by a long shot. But I will tell you this, it ain't gonna be no David Avanesian fight. You know what I mean? That guy's a very crafty fighter in Gervonta Davis, and you never know if that takes place in 2 years or so. Would be a big money fight though. But anyway, Errol rode with his boy on that. Just wanted to talk about that real quick. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.